Hi, this is Sandra,
And this is Peter.
and we're medievalist.net, and today we're doing Lord Snow, episode 3 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you just watched it on HBO or HBO Canada, and here is our review. And let's just start off.
Well, in this week's episode, Daenerys gets some very important news. Ned is finding the ins and outs of King's Landing, and then we have Tyrion and Jon on the wall, grappling with the realities of what the wall really is about, and a little bit of stuff from Bran, from Cersei, and from King Robert. So all around a pretty sort of more slow-paced episode, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, not as much action here. We see a lot of setting up. This seems like a big setup show. So.
The setup episode, but that's important because not every episode can have constant battles and
no killings in this episode.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Peter.
Yeah,
I was the military guys disappointed.
Distinct lack of blood.
Yes. So basically, let's start off with Daenerys. So Daenerys is pregnant, and she seems to think that her child will be a boy. And we get a snippet of her and Khal Drogo lying in bed together, and they seem quite happy.
Yeah.
And then we also get a great scene where Dany asserts herself, and she basically sticks it to her brother Viserys, unintentionally, but I really love this scene. She just totally humiliates him.
Yeah, basically the scene is they're on the march, and Dany tells everyone to stop while she goes into the woods. Viserys comes riding after her, basically says, "No one orders me to stop, and especially you," like that. Like calls her a slut.
Says, "I don't take orders from sluts." Nice brother.
And before he can do anything more, one of Daenerys' guards lassos him in the throat, and it looks like they're going to kill him. So, but she tells him, "No, let's spare his life." But he loses his horse, and now he has to walk. So.
Yeah, Viserys and Joff, hate them both. So I really enjoyed that scene. And then basically, it wasn't much of a scene there for Dany, but I just really we both enjoyed that. I think seeing her finally assert herself as the Khaleesi of the Dothraki people.
Yeah, she's really becoming coming into her own, becoming a player, and understanding, I think, what she can do. So.
Also, then we move on to Ned going to King's Landing with Arya and Sansa, and we also have Cat coming down in secret, but it's not really in secret because her old friend Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, finds out that she's on her way down and wants to sort of align himself with Ned and Cat to find out who was behind Bran's assassination.
Yeah, we get a lot of introduction to characters in King's Landing. These people that are in the court of King Robert. We also actually learn that the person who tried to assassinate Bran the second time is Jaime. He admits it in another scene. But
we also get to find out that Robert's squandering the royal funds. They're $6 million in the hole, and he's trying to hold attorney. And Ned just is like, "No, not on my watch. You're squandering all this money. You don't need to be holding attorneys." And we just sort of find out that Rob's a rather incompetent.
Yeah,
King Robert's sort of incompetent.
Everything I thought about him from episode 2, I thought he might be, he's on the ball. No, he's really just kind of not doing. He's more like living in the past and
squandering funds
and basically ripe to be overthrown. So
yeah. So that's pretty much that. And then we have this scene that Peter really liked with Cersei and Joff.
Yeah, Joff is getting schooled in the lessons of politics by his mother, and and there's a great line where Joff is saying, "Aren't the Starks our enemy?" And she replies, "Everyone but us is the enemy."
Right, and she also tells him that the truth is whatever he wants to make it.
Yeah.
and she basically gives him a quick life lesson. They're both crazy sociopaths, and we also find out,
Well, she comes off as astute.
Joff hates the Starks. He hates Sansa, doesn't want to marry her, and just,
he's a terrible little guy. He just,
I hate it. My banner is die, Joff, die. So.
But Cersei comes off as fairly astute. Like, she seems to be.
She's very shrewd.
Yeah, I really liked how she kind of talked about the politics and, this scenario, that scenario, what would happen. So I found that very interesting. So
I also wanted to talk about Tyrion and Jon on the wall. They finally get to the wall, and Jon realizes, holy cow, this isn't the noble thing that it was made out to be. Oh, we've been guarding the wall for thousands of years. It's really a bunch of teenage riffraff, some rapists, Botany Bay of Westeros, and he realizes, like, oh man, I'm really not too keen on this. He also gets the unfortunate nickname of Lord Snow because even though he's a bastard, he was raised alongside Ned's kids as an equal, so he got schooled in how to sword fight, and he's the only person there of his age who can actually wield a sword properly.
We get to learn a bit more about the other people that are inhabiting the wall, and they seem to be
Tyrion.
Through Tyrion, who kind of says, like, this person was sent here for stealing a wheel of cheese, and this person, was just in debt. He had no money.
Yeah, some of these people sent to the wall aren't all rapists and convicts. They're just, for minor offenses, sent there for life. And it's just a very bleak place. I love the imagery that they use on the wall.
Yeah, even the stuff like the creaking of all the metal, the winches and the elevators and things like that. It was really well done. So.
Yeah, and just when you get pan shots of the wall and all the stuff that goes along with it, it's really rather incredible. We also find Tyrion pissing off of the edge of the world like he wanted to.
Yeah.
He gets to pee off the side of the wall, and he gets to piss off Uncle Benjen Stark.
Yeah.
Good call, Tyrion. Because, he poo-poos all the gaggly snook and ghosts and stuff that are beyond the wall, and Benjen's ticked because he thinks what they're doing is a noble cause and that there's a real need for it, and they're undermanned. And
Benjen seems to be the only one at this point, except us. We actually, since we've seen from the very, very first scene from Game of Thrones, we know the White Walkers are out there. So Benjen, although he kind of looks like he's a crazy guy, we know he's onto something. So.
And also, I like that Tyrion and Jon have sort of formed this sort of weird outcast friendship. And Tyrion comes to Jon's defense because Jon, being as good as he is with sword fighting, gets ganged up on, and Tyrion threatens the riffraff, and they move off. But in general, it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, but it seemed there was a lot going on. Like, I think we're not even touching a few other issues, but we'll leave that since you've seen it.
No hack and slash this time around. Really a lot more of political setup and moving pawn pieces around the board. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. You have to have these setup episodes for the drama that will ensue. And
yes, and it seems that winter is coming fairly quickly, and it should be a long one. So
yes, so we're looking forward to talking to you next week about episode 4, and hope you tune in to HBO.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.